all out before it actually starts. We haven't had a video
you,
pulled in a while, so if you want, feel free.
you want a political career, share the racisms.
I don't want a fucking political career. That's the last thing I want.
It's not the last thing you want. The last thing you want is sobriety.
I don't though. Then I have to like be an adult and deal with things without filter.
I don't lie to you, Matt.
Filter.
I just try to make light of a very scary situation.
Oh, shut up. Corey waits until YouTube starts for my intervention.
I feel like we need witnesses and people who love you. So
Well,
witnesses.
So why is Erika here? She fucking hates me.
Leave. I should leave.
No, I don't want a Java update. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Stick it up your ass.
Wow.
Do you listen to Reply All at all?
Who are you asking?
But either of you, actually.
I have in the past. I haven't like recently.
Oh, I'm making my way through the back catalog, and I'm in like the 90s now. And they did an episode about someone, like people getting their Uber accounts hijacked and like how it happens. And it's kind of nice because a lot of people that listen probably don't understand like social engineering and hacking and like pineapples and shit. But it's like really funny to listen to this girl be like, he has a pineapple which acts as a Wi-Fi. But it's really just trapped. Everything's going through them. And I'm like, yes, it's called man in the middle. She goes, they call that a man in the middle attack. I'm like, oh my God.
You got to understand, we are in tech. And
I appreciate that they're explaining it because there's probably a lot of people that don't get it.
Yeah, that's why I love Leo Laporte and have since back in the Tech TV days, is because he does his radio show and he's so good about explaining tech to people in a way that makes them feel, okay, so it's not threatening me because I don't understand this stuff. I'm gaining knowledge without being talked down to. And that's what led me into doing IT stuff in the first place. That's why I work for Geek Squad. Is because I was watching Tech TV all the time and like, this is absolutely how people feel. You know, I'm seeing this in the store and I want to be able to make people feel at ease about technology because that is sort of my job. But on top of that, it's something that I'm capable of doing. And I feel like there's not enough great techs who are also great at working with people.
Yep, a lot of them lack social skills.
And that's okay if it's what their job is supposed to be, is not the social end of it, if it's just the tech end of it, because I'm not as smart as a really good IT person. I'm just not as trained on that stuff as they are, and I don't claim to be. But what I am is I'm a good pineapple. Yep. Because I am the go-between between my boss, who doesn't want to deal with people's shit other than the tech aspect of it that is actually his job, and the people who are like, what the fuck is going on? You know, and why is this happening? And I don't understand why there's 6 folders that all have the same name relation to this program that's running through Citrix. And it's like, because there's different versions of the program that we've installed, and they each install their portions of it.
Yeah, we lost like our Linux admin recently left. So like I was one of a few people that sat in the back room to try and figure out what he does all day. And another guy I work with is like, man, if they told me I had to be the Linux admin, the first thing I would do is go buy all these books and read them. And I just stared at him and he goes, but I realize I'm like the only person. And I said, yes, because I'm not doing that.
Right.
Like I'm more than willing to like pick up the slack and figure it out as I go, but I'm not going to just go home and read. Like,
well, there's also so many great things besides books these days for training on stuff like that.
Yeah, we have a CBT Nuggets account, but there's also like me wanting to like live my life. Yeah. And that's a huge thing that
you have a life.
I surprisingly do. Fucking asshole. I was surprised. There's just sort of timer between your mean comments.
I don't want to read because it gets in the way of my picking up a beer.
I can drink and read at the same time.
You cannot.
Well, eventually I'll get super drunk and not be able to read.
I mean, you spent 100-something episodes thinking you can drink and run a show at the same time.
You're gonna call out how much money I've spent on beer recently.
No, that's not up to me. That's up to your wife and the courts.
Her response was, so I don't know if I told you this, Corey, but she helped me alphabetize it by style by brewery.
What?
And I was just kind of like, I had to get a new shelf because we ran out of space and it was like sagging in the middle. And she's like, well, you have too much beer and I have too many pets. Like,
I think your wife's spirit is sagging in the middle at this point by dealing with how much beer you owe.
But like, I don't know. There's resale value down there. It's
No,
not
they're,
like I'm
they're
buying like 100 bottles of Miller Lite and they're going bad. Like
Yeah.
I could, if I really had to, if I was in a rock, it's like my record collection. If I was in a rock and a hard place and needed money, I could start selling it.
and honestly, it is something that you love. You work to make the investment in it, and it's
That
like me.
pornography.
Well, yeah, but it's like me in comic books for years.
Mhm.
I I collected the stuff. I didn't buy it for the resale value. I bought it because I like reading the books.
Yep.
So I'm not getting rich off of my 20 something years of collection that I have left. But it was like, this was my vice. This is the thing that I'm into. It's Erin and her artwork. It's, yeah, we'll scrape together the money somehow to get you more markers and shit, to allow you to keep doing that. And that's how it is.
I checked her Instagram story before and was met with a close up of some weird juicy vagina, and I was like, God damn it!
Which is what you ask for all the time. I wish I could meet with some weird juicy vagina, but then when it happens, you just balk and run away and hide in your beer cellar.
I am like
Wow.
super weird. Like when I was single, I was, believe it or not, I was not smooth with the ladies.
Shocker.
Right. I think it's like,
Are you then saying you were rough with the ladies?
yeah, I slap them around. But like when I think
Oh
if
my
I'm
God.
trying is when I get like weird. If I don't have to try, like, because nothing's gonna happen, apparently I'm a charismatic, smooth gentleman.
I definitely, not even with intent, not even like, oh, this is someone that I want to hit on or anything, but I've been taken aback by some sort of connection to somebody before that was not like, oh yeah, I'm out and I'm looking. No, I'm perfectly fine. But there's just something about this person that just totally grabs my attention and flips the stupid switch in my brain where I just can't functionally talk to them, because I am just so attracted to them for reasons I can't even pinpoint. I can't even say why. It just, like, I guess it's chemistry or something, but it just, that moment of, I really need to step away right now because I'm not only going to embarrass myself, I'm probably going to get some sort of court order.
Premature ejaculation in your trousers.
Yeah.
So, Erica, how are you with the ladies?
Pretty good, I guess.
I don't feel like you should get a ladies' take on this.
She just has it thrown at her all the time. She doesn't even worry about it.
Yeah, I
Probably.
don't at all.
It's that fucking true crime show she does over there. Oh, real quick, who do you use for like statistic tracking for your show?
Me?
Yeah.
8cast.
Oh, okay. So we use Blueberry. Not my
Okay.
decision. I was just like told, hey, this is what we do. So I went to check our downloads for last week, and it's like between half and a third of what it normally is. And then there's this big disclaimer at top, and it says, well, Apple Podcast changed how they like report. So
Oh yeah, there's a big thing, like they're
Yeah.
changing everything, so everything's kind of all on a like the same like system, so they can track everything easier, I guess. I don't know, it's stupid. I don't pay attention
oh, it's
to
super
that
fucking
stuff.
stupid. So now it looks like we have like a third of the downloads that we normally do. So it's like I can't even keep track of this anymore.
Well, if you were off the show and it was just Corey, it would probably be better. So.
Just, numbers would skyrocket if I
It
didn't
would.
bring my shit to the show.
Just like when
Uh,
Garth was left without Wayne and then just staring at the screen. Like, this is great. Not. That's again the problem. I've said it multiple times on the show, is that you don't give a company like Apple all of the power to be in charge of numbers, because Apple doesn't want to release that data. They only want to release data that they can control.
Exactly.
And so to create podcasts, and I know that it was named after a fucking Apple product and everything. I get that. And at first Apple was the only thing that really worked well on.
Yeah.
But you've just allowed them to have the top of the list of everything that happens with podcasts. And so anytime they decide that they want to fuck with it, they can fuck with it, and nobody else has a way of fixing that. It's like having your only communication with your fan base be through Facebook. Or having your only way of selling books or something through Amazon. You go all into one basket, and someone says, we don't like the way the basket looks, or we don't even want baskets anymore. We want a fucking sieve that things can drop through so that only the bigger shit that has our name on it will sit here, then you're fucked.
Mhm.
And I don't hate Apple, I don't hate Amazon, but I hate the amount of power that we allow these things to have, because eventually somebody fucks up and they don't give a shit that they fucked up, because what are you gonna fucking do? Go to MySpace? You're gonna go over to fucking MSN podcast? No, MSN doesn't have that shit.
My God, Corey's alive right now.
I know.
Mm,
All fired up.
I
I
recently pooped.
have a raging erection right now.
Wow.
Is it just mad at you because it's on your dick?
What? I don't even.
It's okay. It went over your head. Literally.
I'm not a smart man.
It was not a smart line.
Apparently, it was smarter than me, which is not hard to accomplish.
Nope.
God damn it, Erica!
But it's hard to accomplish hard.
I wake up stiff like board.
Jesus.
He is not here.
We're bored of your stiff.
What?
Nothing. I love you.
Is that 2 jokes that you missed already?
No, I just maybe. All right, I'm gonna start actually recording the show now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so what I wanted to do, and you beat Corey here, which I didn't ask Corey to come early, so it's not a big deal. But we do like those opening paragraphs. I'm like, maybe we should do that before our guest shows up, and then when they show up, just start recording. Because we got rid of the news, and we've just been having like 40-minute bullshit conversations about really funny things that the people that I know personally that listen to it, they enjoy that more than news. So I'm like, maybe we should do that, so then when the person shows up, we can just start recording. And it's not like the awkward, like, all right, we're going to stop and start this over.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. But I've now failed for like a month straight, which I'm sure is a big shocker to you.
Nope.
If you ever decide to try your hand at editing a fucking podcast, you might be able to splice some of this stuff in there.
I could, but then I got to like download the YouTube video and then try and level it all out. And
I know.
So
Yeah.
hard.
It's just time consuming. I
Oh,
could
I know.
be playing video games.
Words.
Plus, I mean, we have nowhere near the download numbers you do. So it's like, why? We don't have
But
sponsors.
a little bit
We
of
don't-
effort might actually make a change in that.
I don't know. I was listening to someone's show and about halfway through, because even though I give you money, I still listen to the one with ads.
Oh, thanks.
The fucking ad just blew my speakers on my car stereo because I listen on my phone, and Patreon
Yeah.
isn't really that awesome on phones,
They sneak the ads in.
which is fine. I think that's the first time that you've done it like right in the middle.
Yeah, it's the first time they've been offered to me right in the middle, which is good for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
not good for us. You know, having you on our show will do absolutely nothing for us. So I'm not entirely sure why you're here.
It raises my enjoyment.
I like Corey. That's about it.
Just everyone's here for Corey. Well, you know what? Without me, there is no show because Corey can't record this.
I could. It sounds like you don't do dick about it, so you make it seem really easy and
It is really,
somewhat
really easy.
compelling.
Yeah,
Hit
it's
the
super easy.
button.
You just need a mixer.
Yeah.
You
And a
don't
piece
even
of
need
software.
that.
You mean like a margarita?
It sounds better with the mixer because of doing everything remotely.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
The way all right. The way we did it before was everything just ran through the mixer, and like if I do this and you talk right now, like you'll hear yourself.
I don't want to do it.
I don't even know if it worked.
A little
I
bit.
did not actually. I couldn't
Well, I
hear
didn't.
it
I
at all.
didn't turn it up that loud. So it's like the mixer, the audio from my computer runs into the mixer and then takes my mic and then goes back into the computer and records that.
Thanks for the lesson.
Yeah, she's in the professional looking sound room, and again has numbers that make us look like we don't
But
even
it's
have a
because
fucking
it's true
podcast.
crime,
No,
and
it's
I
because
like
it's her.
her show a lot.
Yes,
But it's all right. We're gonna start.
you can just say she
Fuck.
was smarter than us in the fact that she did a better topic, but you can't deny that she does it better than we would anyway.
Welcome
I
to
would
episode
love to
one.
hear you guys do a true crime podcast. I think it'd be so fun. Will you stop yelling?
I'm
God,
trying to start the fucking show.
okay,
This
then
is
start
episode
it, bitch.
109 of the podcast of Terror, production of the Galactic Network. I'm your host, Matt Stein. With us as always is Corey. He's sick, but he can still get a boner, Scott. You heard someone talk over me. That is the host of The Apex and the Abyss and a fucking asshole. I don't even know why
Wow.
she's back, but it's Erika.
Rude.
Corey's friend,
Hi.
Erika, not mine.
No, I'm not your friend.
Ron fucking hell for all I care.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
You're getting so hostile so quick.
Well,
This can be a long episode.
just what the
He's
people
got a short
listening.
attention span. He can't not get hostile fast because he's not going to be here in about 10 minutes.
Shiny red ball. What the people listening on, not watching this video don't know is that you have just been telling me that I'm a fucking loser for 20 minutes.
That's so untrue.
Yeah, it hasn't just
Oh,
been 20
it's
minutes.
only been 15 minutes.
Yeah, say you liar. So not only are you a loser, you're a
I'm
liar.
going to release the Facebook messages that you send me. I don't even say anything. And she just says, I hope you get ball cancer.
Wow, I would never do that.
I know.
God.
We have like
You
a
know,
mutual...
you have no balls.
I have one
Yeah.
good one. The other one's just kind of there for show.
I don't know. Who you showing it to? Who's happy about it?
No one's happy about it. When I show my wife, she's just like, this again? You put them away?
Is the good one the one that's not attached?
Yes.
Okay.
No, the good... I don't know.
You just keep it in an old sausages package up on the shelf.
Shooting blanks either way, so it doesn't really matter which one's good or isn't good. They're just there for show at this point.
Oh, dear God.
What?
I told my listeners about this show.
Oh, that sucks for them.
I know. I don't think they were really expecting to hear about your balls for 45 minutes.
It's
No
been
one's prepared.
2 minutes. We can stop talking about my balls.
Thank God.
They'll come back up.
Eventually, we'll talk about this movie. But before, I guess you should talk about your show, which is far more popular than ours.
It might not be. You don't know.
Are your download numbers have 3 digits? I'm just kidding. Ours do. I was going to say 4,
the
but
Apex and the Abyss. I'm just going to move on from that question.
fine.
It's a true crime podcast. That's pretty much it. I don't really know how to describe it other than that, because there's about 80 million true crime podcasts now that you have to compete with.
There are, but there's different types of true crime podcasts, and some of them are just people telling the stories as they've read them or seen them on TV and stuff like that, which is not to take anything away from those shows.
No.
But you put a lot of effort into the research. At least to me, it seems like you put a lot of effort in the research. You plan out what you're going to say. I assume that you're reading from a script.
Oh yeah, no, I have a horrible memory.
Yeah, that it's a very different type of show from other true crime shows that you might have listened to.
Oh, thank you.
And you have like what, 26 episodes? Right?
29.
29. Okay, I knew it started with a 2. 6, just flip it upside down.
Yeah, good job.
It's 2047. Starts with a 2.
I just listened to it yesterday, Friday maybe. I don't even know what day of the week it is. Either way, but you started out with just like straight reading, right? And then you ended up putting audio clips in.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured out how to do it eventually. Everything in my show has been pretty much trial and error. So I'd love to go back and do like the first 5 episodes over, but that's just too much of an effort, I think. Maybe one day.
I also think it's like a band's EP.
Yeah.
It's not as polished, but you kind of love listening to it. You love hearing the growth. You feel like you were there from the beginning, and even if you weren't, you just kind of go back and go, oh yeah, this is where they started. Okay, this is raw, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, or you cringe if you're me.
Or you do both.
That's true. I found the first real band I was in, quote unquote, like 19, first time started touring. I found that CD not that long ago, and I listened to it, and I was like, I cringed. Like, yeah. I wish I saw the videos.
How do you not? How do you not keep that stuff?
I think I had one copy, and it was not like an amicable split.
Okay.
They were not happy that I quit, but I also wanted nothing to do with the majority of them.
Oh, there you go.
It's like a bad breakup. You rip up the pictures, and later on you go back and say, I really wish I'd kept that picture so I could show it in court when I say this is how they infected me.
Wow. All right. I was trying to keep it PG for someone else's listeners who may or may not.
No, I don't give a shit. I'm just joking.
Well, still, my balls are a little too personal. I wasn't going to not swear because of your people that probably won't. They'll just see it and be like, oh, okay. And then just go on.
If swearing offends listeners, then how can murder not? You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you talk about grisly shit. The last time you were on here, you tried getting me to look at fucking murder pictures of the guy whose face got chewed off.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah. No! I am not an idiot.
Oh my God, you're such a bitch.
So remember the Las Vegas shooting? Obviously,
Yes.
it was like a month ago, but I was like flying through Facebook and it's like, oh, here's a picture of the shooter as they found him in his hotel room, and it's got the big like, don't click on this. It's bloody, and I clicked on it and I was like, I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a guy with a hole in his head, but it wasn't even him.
I didn't even know that they released those pictures. Actually,
It didn't. It was a picture of someone else, and the guy was like, that's not the carpet in the Mandalay Bay suites. So it was the internet trying to.
Well, not anymore.
I find that so weird. Why would you want to be like? I don't get trolls like that. I just don't.
No, that's it. It's one thing, and I don't think there's anything unhealthy about having a fascination with crimes like that or crimes in general. I think that there's a longing for an understanding, but the object of I'm just going to feed you a bunch of bullshit to get the clicks. That's one thing. I've got a cousin who I love, and he's just the sweetest guy in the world. He keeps posting these stories from these fucking meme farms on Facebook that are called Celebrate Christmas and Happy Birthday Santa and shit like that. And they go to these fake news sites. So these meme farms are just posting stories from a fake news site, and it's the same site telling all this bullshit of like, and then here's where this person got raped by their uncle, and can you believe this story, or this person got bitten by a dog, and you're not gonna believe what their face looks like now. And I'm like, dude,
number 4 will shock you.
Yes, you need to think about what it is that you're liking. Why do you like this page, and why is this about Christmas, and every story is some other bullshit fucking thing that has nothing to do with Christmas? What goes through your head that you actively choose to follow this stuff? You know, it's one thing to just say, oh, I read the National Enquirer because it's entertaining and it's funny to see Elvis drawn every fucking week for some reason, and now he looks like Trump. It's another thing entirely to say, I just enjoy being fed bullshit all the fucking time, or I really like Christmas, and so I assume Christmas has people's faces getting chewed off.
Wow.
Slow clap for Corey.
Holy shit. I'll leave now.
I just feel like we're celebrating ignorance in a way that is very harmful, but to ourselves and to our entire world. And I feel like that. I felt like that when I was listening to Howard Stern in the 90s. I said, this is just trying to aim at the lowest common denominator. And why do people enjoy the stupidity? It's not even entertaining. It just kind of hurts my feelings.
True. I don't know the answer to that question, but I would like Podcast of Terror t-shirts that say Corey for president.
Oh God, no.
I would wear it. I would wear it every day.
You wanting the fat hipster one?
Well, I want that one too.
We could put
You never delivered. You never delivered.
I never made them.
And it really seems like that's the same fucking t-shirt.
Well, we could, yeah. I could just say Corey for president with a picture of his big dumb face, and on the back it'll just say hashtag fat hipster.
Hashtag.
Yeah, that was the I thought it was this for a while. I'm like
It is,
the
isn't
least.
it?
I thought it was, and then someone corrected me and said that it's now this or some shit.
Wow.
Yeah, because I know
Maybe
what
they were
the
just
fuck
trying
is
to
going on.
bust you or something.
It's possible. It should be the other way around. I was the ordained one, not them. Yeah, if there's like a desire for Corey for president fat hipster shirts, like
Really? No.
let me know.
There's at least one.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, the markup on one shirt would be a little high.
What about a onesie for my kid?
Oh, see, you're aiming with the kid, and Matt actually likes sending gifts to people's kids. Wow, that sounded worse than I.
Yeah, well, that's not.
That was.
Whose
Wow.
kids did I send a picture to or a
You
gift
sent
to?
a picture. You sent. Didn't you send
I
a?
really hope you didn't send a picture to a kid.
You sent a quilt to.
Oh, yeah. It was a crocheted blanket for Dan from Wii Studios because my mom knits baby blankets.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, I would have got you one too, but her arthritis is so bad, so Dan was the last one she said she would do.
Oh, I wasn't like, where's mine?
No, I know. Dan wasn't like, where's mine? I offered and I sent him a 6-pack of beer too for his. It was at the time his inevitable fuck trophy.
Well, you can still do that for me.
6-pack of beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know what kinds of beer you like, and then I'll get something for you. I have like 4 boxes of beer in my basement that I'm waiting to ship to people, so I'll just put you in line.
Excellent. I should be bumped to the head of the line, though.
If I can fill it right away, I'll ship it as soon as I fill it. Like, it's not like they have to wait. It's just one guy I'm waiting for. He's someone I work with. Well, he's a sales guy that I work with through work. Waiting for him to come up here and then give it to him. And then another guy's in Hawaii for his honeymoon.
When you give it to him, are you going to let him have some beer afterwards?
I'm going to give it to him. He's going to need the beer afterwards because it's going to hurt.
Is that how you're going to open the bottle?
Well, I got to open the bottle before because afterwards it's going to be all loose.
For more on this podcast, including show notes, contact info, and subscription links, go to gncast.com/pod. Or go talk to your clergyman and tell him what you did.
It was only 11 minutes. We're doing better this week.
He might forgive you, but we never will.
I'll always forgive you. So,
yeah. I didn't mean to cut off the conversation. I enjoy the opening of the show more and more.
No, it's fine.
I know, it's fine.
Yeah. Erika doesn't give a shit. She hates us. She hates me. She loves you.
Yeah, don't lump Corey into that. I love Corey.
I'm already a lump.
Oh, you love Corey, but you want me to send you beer? Are you going to send me beer in return?
No.
But she shows up on your show.
Yeah.
I brings a higher class than what we've got on our own.
I did her show inadvertently. Not inadvertently.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, I read a bunch of stuff. Felt like a weirdo doing it.
Yeah, you and quite a few others.
Yeah, I know. I felt special. And then I listened to, was it the Generation Y episode that came out like right before yours?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, there's a lot of these weird zodiac readings. Why did I only do 2? And then I listened to your episode and I'm like, oh, I'm not special.
No, you were special because I know a lot of dudes. So I only picked a handful.
What? I don't know. I know a lot of dudes too.
Yeah, they all could have read on it.
No, I know.
Shut up, Matt.
I'm just fucking with you. Let's calm it down. Have another mics. Have some sugar booze.
That might be why I'm a little feisty.
That's fine. Don't drink too many though. You'll get a tum-tum ache.
This is why I don't like you.
I actually, when the fuck? So we had some people over, and so one of my girlfriends is gluten-free. So she brought over like some gluten-free cider, and I drank it. It was very good. Like I have nothing against like sweet beers, and we'll get into this in like 2 seconds when we do the what you're drinking, because I'm actually drinking like a sweet sour beer. I really enjoy fruity beers and stuff. Like one of my favorite beers I've had in the past year, maybe ever, is like a cherry beer that was aged in maple bourbon barrels.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's fucking super good. Next year I'll have to buy more of it when it comes out. If you can get Founders. I don't know. Can you get Founders?
In PA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When it comes out, I'll try and remember to tell you. It's called Fruitwood. Oh, holy shit. I didn't realize how far Founders got. So I guess, what are you drinking over there, sugar booze? Booze. OOZE. I realized that it sounded like sugar boobs pretty quickly.
Mike's tonight because you guys aren't classy enough for wine.
That's fine. What is Mike's what?
Really are.
I thought I saw mango on there.
Hard blood orange, so I don't know where you got the mango.
I'm drunk.
Oh, there it is.
There's Blake's. You ever heard of Blake's hard cider?
No.
That may not tell you. They did a cranberry blood orange called Black Pete. It's got like the big fucking Satan goat head on it and stuff.
Right up my alley.
Well, I got some for when we did the witch a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Oh, they have a new one now called Archimedes. It's infused with god damn it, elderberries and vanilla. It's one of those scrolling things, and it took off on me. It doesn't sound half bad.
Is that a character from Secret of Nim? No.
It's got an owl on it, so maybe.
Oh shit, maybe.
What, Archimedes?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Merlin's owl in the Sword in the Stone?
Maybe.
It was. I'm telling
think
you
she's right.
Hey,
by the way, you can get Blake's in Pennsylvania.
Oh, hey. Hey-o.
Corey, are you drinking hot tea like I told you to?
I'm drinking not hot tea. I'm drinking iced tea. I'm just trying to keep my insides inside.
Oh boy. We're Corey.
No, that's fine. If you gotta run to make boom booms, just go for it.
I'd prefer if you didn't, so I didn't have to talk to Matt by myself.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just sit here in silence, and I won't edit any of it out of the podcast. It'll be like potentially 20 to 30 minutes of silence.
Yeah, I'll just have my finger like up like this.
If
If you could put your finger up like that, maybe it would keep me from making boom booms.
Wow.
All right, I'm drinking. It's called Lolita from Goose Island in Chicago.
Oh God,
what?
It's called Lolita. I can't wait to stick it in my mouth.
I might deep throat the bottle, but it's a wild ale fermented in wine barrels with raspberries, and then a weird sentence on the bottom. It's got a tart finish.
You're a tart finish.
It's 2016.
I literally was just about to say that, Corey, but I was like,
Thanks, guys.
I'm really happy you did. I'm really happy you did.
Fuck you guys. I got this for being in a wedding down in Kansas.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I mean, I drove. My wife made us drive, but it's fine because I came home with 3 cases of beer.
Of course you did.
Well, it's a very good friend of mine.
That's how to get you to leave.
I normally
just fucking throw beer at him and tell him to go.
I ship his boxes of beer, and he just waited till he saw me. Which I think I have one coming on Tuesday from him because he finally learned how to ship a box of fucking beer.
That's a great story.
I hate you so much right now. You just tell FedEx it's olive oil. That's fucking stupid. Go do true crime.
I will.
How she's murdering you in this conversation.
I hate you both. Not really.
Well, I don't know why you keep asking me to come back on this show.
I don't know either right now. Right now I'm questioning, like, why did I go out of my way to reschedule you when all you do is hurt my feelings?
I think your feelings are okay.
You're turning all my good feelings into bad feelings.
Whatever.
So how do you decide who you're going to talk about on your podcast? I'm just going to change the subject.
It's kind of at random. I do have a whole list of cases that I want to cover, and then I have listener requests, and then sometimes things will just kind of pop up that I get inspired to do. I try to find something that, because I always put like a personal touch in my intro or something that's a current event. So something kind of like raises a flag. Like my last episode raised a flag as soon as like that whole Harvey Weinstein bullshit started to come forward. And I was just like, oh, I remember that one case where nobody believed the girls about this cop. And I just started writing, and that's kind of how it goes for me. I want to be more organized. That's why I'm taking the whole month of December off, but we'll see how that goes.
Now, one of the things that our friends at We Studios do is they offer, as part of their Patreon rewards, letting people choose which episode of The Simpsons they're going to do. Have you thought about considering that as a Patreon reward for yourself, is letting people choose?
That's a good one. I actually like that because I want to reamp my like Patreon rewards and stuff like that and add more tiers. That's actually a great one. I like that a lot.
Hey, Corey, why don't you come up with tiers for our Patreon?
I don't know how much people expect us to pay them to listen, but whatever it is, it's not enough.
Wait, do you guys have a Patreon?
No. I've thought about it. We just finally did like an Amazon thing, which turns out if you have the Amazon affiliate link linked to your Amazon account, you cannot get money for yourself.
Oh.
Because everything I order doesn't show up, which is fine. It's stuff that I would have ordered on Amazon regardless. But it's fucking weird because we'll go like 2 weeks with nothing, and then all of a sudden one day we'll just get by a bunch of money. I mean, like a couple bucks, which is better than nothing.
Exactly.
No, absolutely. And our network is a Patreon. And so what we always used to ask when we did the ads for it was it just supports the network. It supports Dave, which does our hosting and that sort of stuff. And so there is ways of supporting the show, but realistically, Matt and I, we know we're not going to get paid for this. We're doing this because we love to do it and because we get to talk to you and I get to watch Matt cringe and cry.
I think this should be the Erika and Corey show. Fuck you, Matt.
That's fine. I'll leave. You just want to let me know when it's done so I can save it. And then
am I supposed to like scream into my mic so you come back into the room?
Corey has my phone number. He can call me.
There you go.
But I never call you.
We talked on the phone one time.
Did we? Was it when I was trying to get to the city to see your ugly ass?
No, it was the day after the fucking alternator died in my car on the way to a show.
Oh, right.
I got stranded in front of that dude's house, and he was trying to tell me about how, like, drowned the lifeguard and credence broke down in front of his house. I'm like, all right, guy. That's a good time. My wife really had fun that night.
Talk about a bad mood rising.
You know what? This should be the Corey Scott dad jokes hour.
I'm loving it.
I don't hate it one bit. It's just they're like out of the blue. They're fucking great, but they're out of the blue, and it always just sideswipes me.
Mm. No, I'm not saying anything.
I was waiting for one.
I was waiting for one.
Yeah.
Not when you expect it. Speaking of Harvey Weinstein.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, I can't keep my shit straight right now.
So did you like the episode, the last one?
I did. Where did that take place?
Oklahoma City. Enid.
Okay. I like vaguely remember it happening. I don't pay attention to the news because I'm a dumb, stupid idiot.
Well, no, it's depressing, so I don't blame you.
Well, that too, and it's also like I don't know. I'm kind of a dick, so it's like that stuff. It would never affect me. I'm a fat white guy in the north side of Wisconsin. Like,
no, I get it.
So it's not something I really paid attention to. But I do like the whole like. You always have like you said, a personal story. There's like, and a lot of times when you're doing your little story, I'm like, where is this fucking going? Because I don't even really pay attention to the name until afterwards. Like
Yeah.
I just hit play, and then
I just love the male privilege of when you're doing your little story.
That's when. Yeah, I just kind of want to be like, will you put the apron back on and go bake me some muffins, toots?
Wow. I literally am about to get in my car, come to your house, and kick you in your one ball.
Oh, that's
to be
fine.
fair, it's not even sexist, Matt, because that's how he would talk to anybody.
But the thing is, like, you have to understand. I don't feel like I'm above you because I'm a guy. I did the laundry. I did the laundry yesterday and made dinner for my wife who was doing rabbit stuff. So when she got home, she had like dinner. Like, I fucking
and you want to fucking thank you for that?
No, I'm just saying. Like, I don't. Maybe
you actually.
I got a
you held some presence in your own fucking home and contributed as
like
a
cooking.
equal standing member in your household.
I was out of underwear. If I didn't do the laundry, I wouldn't. I'd be freeballing it right
so
now.
you did it because of your needs.
Fuck you. Actually, wasn't out of underwear.
I'm gonna stay silent with this one. My raging feminism is boiling.
I just don't want you or anyone listening to think that like I'm serious.
No.
What, that you're a misogynistic bastard?
Yes,
I hope not.
I'm not. What? I mean, we've talked enough. Don't you think you would have like got little hints? It was like
I would have ended the phone. This little chat by now.
It was like I started on Thanksgiving. It was like literally my parents, Alyssa and I, and my uncle, and we were watching football, and just my uncle was dropping like all sorts of super racist comments, and I'm like, how did I never realize that he was like kind of a dick like that? It started to get a little weird.
I think I've
Point
said
being,
before
wouldn't you notice if I was like kind of a misogynistic asshole and just the way I would like mention things?
I've noticed.
If I was a misogynistic, then if I was a misogynistic asshole, you probably wouldn't be on the show because I would say like women don't have a place in podcasting.
Oh God, yeah. No, I wouldn't be on your show at all.
No, and I wouldn't expect you to.
I wouldn't be on this show though. That's just it. Is we play assholes pretty well. Sometimes I think far too well. And we're not the most enlightened motherfuckers in the world.
We are not woke.
Yeah, no, I'm quite sleepy. But we are here to entertain, and we hope that when we say the really absolutely stupidest shit you probably ever heard, that you think it's funny and realize that we're not serious.
Well, we haven't gotten like hate mail for doing it yet.
That's good.
Knock on wood. So I would hope that people understand that we're joking.
I just got my first hate mail.
Did you really?
Oh, nice.
Do you want to share it with us?
Well, it was just this like random chick on Twitter who kept liking and retweeting her tweet over and over again. So she literally had to undo her retweet just to get me to notice. But she's a very big advocate for the guy I did, Daniel Holtzclaw. She believes that he's innocent. And so she tagged me and this reporter who is like a really big advocate as well for his innocence and did a whole like 2-part special saying like, you should watch this special. Like it proves the truth and that he's innocent. I'm like, I'm going to block you.
I don't.
And she just kept doing it and doing it and doing it.
I don't want. I was trying to say I don't want to cut you off like in the middle of your sentence, but you were done by the time I finally said it.
Yeah.
Didn't they have like DNA evidence and like other things to prove?
Yeah, they did. They had well, one, they caught him in a lie about his girlfriend and like his.
That was weird to listen to, by the way.
What, his interrogation?
Yeah, the lady's like, I think she'd remember if you twirled your penis around her vagina and stuck it in.
Oh, she said hoo-ha.
She did say hoo-ha. You are right.
I did. The main feedback I'm getting from this episode, other than that it was like a good episode, which I'm not tooting my own horn, that's what people are telling me at least. It's just that they, whatever. More downloads. Is that
toot away, sister.
The interrogation, they couldn't help but laughing, even though they knew that it was such a serious matter, because the detective in the case, she's trying to be buddy with this tall, huge, like stocky, built like a truck dude. She's trying to be like his ball buddy, like, you know, like, oh, you know, titties and boobies and all this other weird stuff. And listening to it over and over again, I was like, yeah, this is uncomfortable, but it needs to be in there.
Oh, I agree. I laughed my ass off when the male cop was like, "Do you see any titties?"
Yeah, it's
like,
just, it's
the fucking interrogation's like, yeah, did you see your titties or what?
Yeah, but it was very, very strange the way that they tried to break him, and it didn't work really until they caught him in that lie. But they did eventually have DNA evidence. He allegedly raped a 17-year-old girl, and her DNA was on the inside of his zipper in his pants. They're trying, like, the defense is trying to say that it was secondary, like from him patting her down and then eventually like either going to the bathroom or touching his pants, her like DNA got inside of his pants. But he'd have to have a lot of her, you know, skin particles or any type of DNA on her hands for that to even transfer. That's at least how it was explained to me. So in my eyes, not that I like to ever throw my opinion on cases when it's kind of controversial, I obviously think he did it.
It's
but that's
hard.
just it, is you don't really make statements of your own point of view too often in the show. You report the stuff as it's been reported. And I think
when you have an opinion.
Yeah, God, that is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything.
But we are guys, so I don't think we've had to deal with it nearly as much. One girl calling us fat hipsters is not the same.
Yeah, it's very strange. Because like I'm friends with a lot of other like female podcasters and stuff like that. We noticed that there's a trend of what people are critical of versus what they would say to like a male podcaster. Like, have you guys ever heard of like vocal fry and all that bullshit? People will always come at me for my voice and like, oh, Erika, you should clear your voice. You should clear your throat. I'm like, really? That's just how I talk. But thanks, asshole.
I don't hear vocal fry in your voice at all. And I certainly hear it in some other podcasters. And it's just one of those things that if it bothers you, well, then you're probably listening to the wrong podcast. And there's other things that are probably bothering you. But it's never been something that I haven't been able to get past if I enjoy the content or the people. Well, and it doesn't bug me in general anyways, but there's certainly times when I've heard it more pronounced and I go, oh, okay, so that's what they're saying.
I think some people just like seek out things to complain about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always get stuff said about my accent, which I know I have one, but I can't. I'm not going to curb my Philly accent for.
You have a Philly accent.
Oh, thanks.
But then again, I also sound like I'm from fucking Canada, eh?
That's true, you do actually. Now I'm not going to be able to unhear that.
Yeah, it's a Wisconsin accent. I'm not nearly as bad as some people around here, but I
knew that because I have heard like Wisconsin accents. I'm like, his is pretty tame, but I hope you say about.
I don't say it. I say about. But when I still lived in Sheboygan, so this goes back to the band I was in when I was 19. We went down to St. Louis to play a bunch of shows, and I met a guy, and I told him I'm like, I'm from Sheboygan, and he goes, no shit. He goes, I thought that was a different country. Like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, I saw the news and a kid got stuck in a claw machine. He goes, and everyone sounded so funny when they talked. Because I just assumed it was in a different country.
Wow.
Like, nope.
The school system failed him greatly.
He's like a hairdresser and he played guitar for Twisted. Like the ICP
to be fair,
counterpart.
It's not like anybody wants to take credit for Sheboygan.
Not unless they're in the meth game.
I just like saying Sheboygan.
No, it's fun.
But
fun name.
Two of my very good, very, very close friends that are fans of this podcast are from there. So don't.
Hi, friends.
Seth and Jake.
Hi, Seth and Jake.
Yeah.
I had an ex-girlfriend who used to always comment on my accent, and I said, I don't
You don't have one
understand.
either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm from Michigan, and she was from Michigan, and she always thought I didn't sound like I was from Michigan. And I don't understand what I could have done to give me an accent for places that I did not live.
Do people from Michigan really have like an accent though? I don't know. I've never really, I guess.
I don't know that I could have picked it out from a lineup being immersed in it. When I go back now, I hear it a little bit more. And certainly there's sections of Michigan that is broken up into more rural, and you'll get more of a kind of Kentucky sound drawl to them. Or the UP, especially the Upers, are just basically Canadians who fell off the tree and rotted on the ground.
Wow.
It's absolutely fine. I love the differences of people's accents. I think that that's fun, and it's always fun to try to pick up on and impersonate, but I always do it from a place of I enjoy people talking. My brain is always filled with dialogue. That's why I write.
I have a handful of friends that are from the UP that live down here now, and they like all went to Michigan Tech together, and they always talk about like going snowshoeing, and they go up to Alaska to watch hockey every year. I'm like, you guys are fucking Canadians.
I love Canada.
Yeah, I've never been there. I assume
really?
You've been there.
Yeah,
I've
beautiful.
Unfortunately never been out of the country, but that might change. I was asked to drum in a band, and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to Sweden for a week," and I'm like, "I want to do that."
Wow.
But then I'm in two bands, both of which practice over an hour away, and I got to figure it out. But I know that's the thing. It's like
further than an hour.
I'm talking to a buddy of mine, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure if they didn't say Sweden, I would have just said no.
Right.
But they
said in that
Sweden.
case, maybe you shouldn't do it.
Well, and that's the thing. And it's like, I feel like I'm just doing it just to play in Sweden. But I'm like, why? I told him, I said, I want to hang out with you guys and make sure that I like don't hate you all. Like I've known him for a really long time, but we've played shows with him. That's about it.
You know, if you ever get the chance to go to Canada, go. It's awesome. I used to go there every summer because I had my great grandparents lived in Maine, so we always used to just hop over on a bridge right over to Canada. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I could just drive straight north and get to Canada, but I haven't done it. But I think if I go straight north, it's like just Canadian woods.
Yeah, I haven't been there since you need a passport now to get in, so I haven't been there.
Same here. Yeah, same for us. It was we either go through the tunnel or we'd go over the bridge and just be in Canada all of a sudden. But I was surprised when I found out you need a passport to get over there now. It's fucking Canada. That's closer than Detroit. I don't understand.
Have either of you watched Border Patrol on Netflix?
No.
So I think it's called Border Patrol. Anyways, there's 3 shows. One is Airport Security in Australia. That was like the original one. So it's like them when people would come through and they scan and they find they have food and shit on them. So they would like, oh, why are you bringing food in? Pretty funny. But they did one for the U.S.-Canadian border. And it's pretty great because a lot of times it's like stoners trying to go skiing in Canada and just get really fucking stoned. So they're always hiding weed on them.
Wow, that's hilarious.
I recommend checking it out. I love People's Misery. I love Live PD and Teen Mom in the Jersey Shore.
Wow.
I'm a simple man.
I'm learning
Are you watching
so much
Floribama?
about you.
Hi, Corey?
Are you watching Floribama?
No, I don't. I don't know. What?
I think that's a new MTV. They did a bit on it on Saturday Night Live, but I feel like I was on MTV
the
recently.
Floribama Shore.
It was a real thing.
It is a real thing.
They're supposed to bring back the Jersey Shore people for another season or something too.
Saw that. I did watch the Geordie Shore. It's the UK version of the Jersey Shore, and that's pretty good because you get all of like the UK slang, and that made it worth it. But sometimes it's hard to follow what they're saying because some of their accents are super duper thick, and then they're speaking slang, so you have to figure out what they're saying.
Yep.
You know, it's like I don't know why she trigged her muff.
But then at least you feel like listening to them as opposed to anybody from the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
I found a Jersey Shore drinking game, and it sounds like a bad time. Like someone's gonna die.
The show was a drinking game, right? Wasn't that the whole thing?
Pretty
it's
much.
Like who dies first? Just
I gotta make some Ron juice. Neither of you watch the Jersey Shore, do you?
No.
Big muscly Ron.
Oh God.
Party. So you want to talk about?
I can't watch the Jersey Shore before we even talk about the movie because I live so close to the Jersey Shore. It ruins the Jersey Shore for me.
Have you ever been to the Jersey Shore?
Every single fucking day of my life, practically.
No, I mean like legitimate, the boardwalk and the whole 9 yards.
Yes, it's literally an hour and a half to. No, it's longer than that, but it's very close to my house.
Huh, I guess I didn't realize. I'm no geography major.
Yeah, anybody who lives in like a radius of Philadelphia has gone to the Jersey Shore. If they haven't, they're not a true Philadelphian.
Wow. Yeah. Have you eaten a cheesesteak from that one place?
I've eaten a cheesesteak from all the places.
There's a show called The Pizza Show on Munchies, and they went to Philly, and there was a place where you can get like a giant fucking slice of pizza, and they put a cheesesteak inside of it and rolled it up.
Oh, I heard about that. That's an abomination to all Philadelphians.
Yes, but it's still something I want to try.
Oh yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The place I forget. Oh crap, I forget the name of the pizza place, but that pizza is delicious. I've had pizza from there. But
I want to go to. I told Jack from worst episode ever. I'm like, I'm coming to Brooklyn, and you're taking me on a pizza tour. Like, all I want to do is eat fucking pizza until I can't feel feelings.
Well, if you ever come to Philly, we will do a cheesesteak tour.
Yeah, no, hands down. Philadelphia is a place I want to get to too. I should just I love my wife, but a lot of times I'm like, hey, we should do this. Like we talked about CrimeCon, and you and I were talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like anal.
It was like either I did not talk to Erika about anal yet.
Wow.
I'm trying to ease her into it. But it was we were either going to go to Europe or CrimeCon, and it's like now plane tickets to Europe were $500 round trip per person, and I should have just fucking bought them because now they're back up to $9, and I'm like, this sucks. Well, it's like she can't commit because she doesn't like spending money, and I get it. That's why we have a nice house, but I like spending money quicker than I make it.
You should have bought those tickets to Europe, man.
Wait, I know.
Did you buy the tickets to CrimeCon?
No.
Okay, good.
You're not going, so that was a good part, and I don't want to say that's the only reason I wanted to go, but there isn't a lot there for me. Yes, there isn't a lot there.
Or in your case, Erika.
I just choked on my own spit. But yeah, it would have been cool to run into you, and I'm sure there's the Australian guy who does Case File might be there. I don't know, but he's no,
he's anonymous. He doesn't want to ever show his face, really.
And that's something that's I kind of want to talk about that because I purposefully left your last name off of this. Now I know you may or may not care, but doing a true crime podcast is a world different than have you ever been out and about and someone recognizes you?
No, I have had people recognize my voice. I had a coworker actually say something to me. She's like, "Wait, do you do a podcast?" And I actually had I'm a tool, and I had one of my stickers on my cube. And she's like, "Do you know that podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, that's actually my podcast." And she's like, "I thought I recognized your voice." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And I'll have random people in my company come up to me and they're like, "Oh, so-and-so told me that you do this podcast and we just listened to all your episodes." That makes me really uncomfortable because I say sexual assault and masturbate every once in a while, and I don't need my coworkers to.
Oh, you're a social worker, aren't you?
No, I'm not a social worker. I do background checks.
Okay. You want to feel uncomfortable, have them listen to our podcast that you're on.
I know. I'll hide this shit.
I try and keep this separate from work. I know someone I work with was listening to this for a while, and he would often mention it, and I'm just kind of yeah, could we just not do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can get kind of weird sometimes when you're talking to your friends at work and they're just like, "Oh, I listened to your last podcast about a serial rapist." I'm like, excellent.
Yeah, I went and I get sports massages every couple of weeks where they work out the bad times, and she's like, "Yeah, I listen to your podcast," and I'm like, "Okay." And it was the one where Beach was on, and we had a 40-minute conversation about Harvey Weinstein and stuff.
Oh.
And I'm like, "Where's this going?" I hope I didn't offend you because you're currently. I'm in a pretty vulnerable position here, but it didn't go anywhere bad. But I get what you're saying. But
I have a couple of friends that
are on a very different. You're on a very different level than we are, because
that's true.
As much as we joke about it, your downloads probably make ours look like fucking child's play.
Stop saying that. It doesn't matter.
But it does to an extent. It does because
it does to an extent, but
it's not I think you're better than we are. That I'm ooh, we're in the presence of greatness here.
I do.
We've had world champion athletes on this podcast.
Still better than us.
Oh, they're way fucking cooler than we are.
Sometimes I mean it is different because just for the sheer fact is like my show will involve families and victims and stuff like that. So I have corresponded with like a sister of a missing person, and that was definitely interesting and very heartbreaking. So that's where it's kind of hard. But I have such a big online presence when it comes to my show. Like everybody knows.
That's very true.
My name, my whole name. So I probably should have came up with like an alias, but I wasn't smart when I started this. So.
But did you think it was ever going to become what it has become?
No, I literally just wanted to do this for fun. I was supposed to actually have a partner when I did this, and then that fell through. And I was just still felt that like kind of the bug to still want to do it, and it kind of just snowballed from there. And then I make a bunch of friends who I have to kind of give more credit to them for my success, I think, like my very small success, because I have a lot of friends that have huge podcasts and they have name dropped me so graciously. And I think that is literally at least 90% of the reason why I have the listeners that I do.
Yeah, certainly we've picked up from the sense of community that we have with the friends of the show, like you, like the Wii Studios, Ink Geek, all of the different people we've been lucky enough to have on here, Matt and Beach from The Hate. That is certainly a big draw for us, but I think that there's just an honesty to podcasting, and people tune in because they're into the subject and stuff, but they'll stick around for the person that they feel connected to. And if you're someone who seems honest in what you're talking about and loves what you do, that to me at least is very attractive as far as what I want from a host. I want someone that I can feel like I could be sitting there having a conversation with, and that they, if not feel like a major authority, at least feel like I'm going to learn some interesting things from them about the subject. And that's, I think that's probably a big portion of why you've drawn so much success.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I find like, especially in at least the true crime community, it's definitely like a tribe of people. We all have the same general interest, where we thought it was kind of weird to not like these things, but have a morbid fascination with those types of like stories and, crime and all that stuff. So you find your people, and it's really nice to be able to relate and not feel like a weirdo when you're just like, guys, did you hear about the serial killer in Florida? How kind of awesome, but not really is that? That's kind of how it is. And it's really awesome to have people you can talk to.
It's like a weird thing, because I remember, it's kind of true crime, but I remember being like super into the concept of cults when I was younger. I mean, I still think they're insanely interesting, but I remember there was like some mass suicide in like Africa, and I printed off the whole story and took it to like my 8th grade basketball game and was like telling people about it, and no one gave a shit. And I'm pretty sure they all assumed that I would start killing people soon. But like when Heaven's Gate happened and all that shit, it was like, it was always super interesting to me. So I mean, you're way deeper in the weeds than I am. Face eating pictures and shit.
He didn't eat his. Well, no, he did eat an eyeball.
Shoot his goddamn face off.
Yeah, okay. I'm correcting myself. Christ. Yeah, I think he ate an eyeball too, but that's beside the point. I'm gonna send you those pictures.
I will find you and I will burn your house down. I'll make sure your child is out though. And your husband, because I have nothing really against him, just you.
Make sure to print them on the inside of diapers and then have your kid crap in them and leave the crap in.
Oh my god, that is like getting hit twice. I love it.
Yeah, but that's assuming that I would take the diaper out and then scrape the shit off.
You can't stop yourself. Once you see the diaper, you need to follow that
I know there's a goddamn picture in here.
You have a dog, don't you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. A beagle.
Yeah, I'll make sure your dog is out too.
Thanks.
You're staying in there though.
That's fine.
No, it's not, because now people are like, wow, if she ends up dead, they're going to come after me.
No, I hope so, just so they can be like, Matt's fine and handcuffs.
Fucking, oh man, so you'll probably be into this. I started taking magnesium to it helps you sleep at night. Like I have a problem sleeping through the night. I always just wake up a bunch, and I was reading the internet, and it's like, Corey's gonna love this. The more you drink, the lower your magnesium levels are in your body. Yeah, so I was like taking magnesium, whatever. But I started having like super fucked up dreams, and they're not like nightmares because I don't wake up scared. But last night I had a dream where Leatherface kidnapped me and was torturing me, like I had a meat hook in my foot, And the last thing I remember is just being like, hey, man, can you turn my cell phone off so when you let me go, I can call someone to pick me up? And then I woke up.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't drink and drive, kids. You want to talk about Monster Squad now?
Drink and stay home.
Absolutely. I'm wearing my Monster Squad shirt, so I'm ready.
Rock.
Oh, you're a weirdo.
Oh, fuck you.
I was actually really happy when you picked this movie.
Did you actually watch it?
This is not the first time I've seen it.
Okay, congratulations.
Oh, God damn it.
My wife Erin had just seen it for the first time a couple of months ago. She's like, I just watched Monster Squad. I've never seen it before. That movie is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. I said, how you it is like it's the 80s in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's weird to me is that I do not remember this as an 80s movie. I don't think I started seeing this until 91, 92 on cable or something. I had no idea this came out in 87 until last night. Until I was rewatching it last night and it said 87. I'm like, the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, I think it had like a really like slow build because it's like a cult classic, as they say.
Well, also the fact that Shane Black is one of the writers on it, and this was I guess the same year that Lethal Weapon came out.
I had no idea.
So he had co-written this with the director Fred Decker. One, it's weird to me to see Shane Black do a story that doesn't take place during Christmas. But two, that these are two people who have done, a good amount of stuff and certainly popular. Shane's probably a little bit more popular from some of the bigger things that he's done. But I was just really like, I could not believe some of the things that were like, that I just never realized about this film.
Lethal Weapon came out in March and Monster Squad came out in August of 87.
Ew.
But so the one thing I did want to point out real quick, and I know I sent this to Erika, but the first reason I watched this movie is because the end of the song Nocturnal by Black Dahlia Murder is the sound clip of Dracula saying, and there's no one that can stop us.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember hearing that and then watching this movie later when I still got Netflix on DVD and it just being like, this is really, it's even better now. Because on the same album, they have a song called What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse, which if you played Castlevania for Nintendo, every time it got dark, it said, what a horrible night to have a curse.
Yeah.
And also the whole nards thing. Like, I think nards is such a funny word for balls.
Wolfman's got nards.
Yeah, kick him in the nards. Wolfman doesn't have nards.
I love this
Wolfman's
movie.
got nards. The other thing, the one big thing that I noticed, and I can't say the word because my wife will come in here and hit me, but it starts with an F and it is a derogatory term for
I was going to
homosexuals, and I was very shocked to hear that said in this movie more than once.
Oh yeah, that's right. They do say it.
It's like right at the beginning too.
Yeah,
but it is the bully at least. I rewatched a movie from the 80s called My Science Project, which I really loved as a kid. It has Dennis Hopper, but it has the guy who, all right, let's face it, he was in Hackers. First of all, shout out to our friends at We. But second,
I love that movie so much.
He was the Indian character in Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2.
Yep.
And in My Science Project, he keeps calling people the F word, and when somebody doesn't find him attractive and succumb to his hitting on them, he calls her a lesbian. And that was the 80s. Like, we just dropped those things all the time, did not realize how damaging that was and how awful it was, because that was, unfortunately, it was considered okay.
Yeah.
And like I was going to say earlier, there were racist things that I used to hear as a kid in Detroit area and suburbs of Detroit. There were words that I heard that I did not realize they were racist in their origin. They were just terms that I connected with whatever it was ascribing. And years later, I'm like, but why does it have the N-word in it?
Yeah.
And what does that imply? No clue as a kid. You just grow up thinking it's okay. And then one day you wake up and hopefully you realize, fuck, this is not okay at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think it has a lot to do with I used to really like the Insane Clown Posse. Now it's out on the internet. I'm sure like the 5 people that I consistently talk to that listen to the show will make fun of me. But there's one of the guys that they did this thing called Stranglemania, which was like Japanese wrestling, like Japanese extreme wrestling, and then they would overdub the commentary on it, and it's fucking hilarious. One of the lines, it's two girls wrestling, and the guy just yells, "She's gonna fuck her because she's got a dick." Like, to this day, is still one of the funniest things I've ever heard. That's not the point. The guy would call him.
For time out, were you a juggalo?
Totally. There's a picture floating around the internet of me with my hair braided and my face painted on my way to a Twisted Show.
I fucking knew it.
I want it on a Christmas card so bad.
Someone, the guy who has it, posted it on my Facebook wall, and I fucking deleted it instantly. And he goes, "What the fuck, man?" And then he unfriended me because of it. I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want people to have this.
I want to have it. I want it framed in my home.
If I can find it, I will. I don't even trust to send it to you because I'm sure it'll end up.
Never. Well, I might actually.
Exactly.
It's too good. It's too good.
If it.
That's so embarrassing. I love it. Wait, when you say braided, your hair was braided like in cornrows?
No. I used to. So one of the guys in Twisted, you like put all your hair in tiny ponytails and then you braid it, and then so it like stands up. Yes. And it's like fucking spider. Yeah. It was so awesome. And I used to do it when I would leave my house because I didn't want my mom to know that I did it.
Well, we now know that I can achieve an erection because I am solid right now just thinking about that picture of you.
Yeah. There's it's probably in a shoebox, but there was a couple years for Halloween I went as ICP. We're talking like 15 to 17. So this is
that's the same age that you get sick of Halloween, but you still use it as an excuse to dress up as Kiss.
Yep.
There's never an excuse to dress up as a juggalo.
No. And it's like
unless you're trying to escape the juggalo compound and you're trying to blend in like you're dressed up as a zombie hanging out with the other zombie, just like if I get the smell on me, maybe I won't notice.
Matt Vincent and I had actually a discussion about going to the Gathering as like a people watching expedition. Because I think it would be fucking amazing just to watch the people. Like there's an American Juggalo on YouTube. Like watch that. And I in recent years, I think it was last Halloween, I went and saw ICP in Green Bay. I didn't paint my face. I literally just went, drank beer, and stood in the back. But for what it's worth, like they put on a phenomenal live show. It is a very, very entertaining live show.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
And then the people there make it even better.
How do you get hardcore fans if you don't do a phenomenal job at what you're doing?
If you have to do like if being in a band is marketing, those guys fucking market. They also probably, I don't know, quintupled Fago sales just by being what they throw at people.
And we all owe them a load of thanks.
You can now, like, we used to have to like go to one specific dollar store to get it back in, those days. Now it's just in every Quick Trip, which is a gas station chain here, if you're not from here. It's not bad.
Thanks for that.
What I know, like down in Texas, they have Quick Trips, but they're spelled differently and they're a little different. And they're Quick Stars in Iowa. Yeah.
No, we have Wawas.
What?
It's called Wawa.
Are you making fun of Helen Keller right now?
No.
I gotta look this up.
I mean, if you can, it's okay. She's not gonna catch it.
WAWA. Oh my god. It's really hard for me. People who don't know what Wawas are.
I'm looking it up. I have a feeling it is the exact same thing. It's just a different. Yeah. So it has like a hot bar and donuts and coffee and sodas.
It's amazing.
So it's like it's essentially a small grocery store you can get gas at.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what Quick Trips are here, and they have the fucking best hot food.
Yeah, well, ours is better and it has a better name. So.
Oh, it's totally got a better name, but I don't know if it's better. You have rewards though. Quick Trip doesn't have rewards.
Exactly.
Damn it. Are they only? Oh, they have a breakfast burrito. Applewood smoked bacon and cheesesteak. Ooh.
Yeah, you really want to keep arguing?
No, not at all. I will tell you what. There's so I moved since the last time you were on our show, and now there's like 2 restaurants within 10 miles of my house, and one of them had a cheesesteak pizza, and I got it like the week we moved in. It was so fucking good. Yeah, so there's like 3 Wawas in existence, or are there more?
No, they're all in Pennsylvania, Jersey,
Club sandwiches,
Delaware, and I think there's some in Florida now. But it's very like exclusive of like the East Coast.
I talked to a buddy and I talked about driving out to Massachusetts to get beer. I may have to stop in Philadelphia to go to a Wawa.
Exactly. Wait, do you guys have 7-Elevens there or no?
Yeah, like Madison, Milwaukee do.
Okay.
Up here they don't. There's a 7-Eleven by our office in Madison, and someone got straight executed in the parking lot. And now we're moving.
That's pretty much every 7-Eleven, I think, though. They just kind of magnetize that.
I try and go down there for 7-Eleven day all the time to get a free Slurpee.
Of course you do.
Fuck you.
Why are you offended by that?
Because I don't know. I just assume everything.
You said you do it. She said, "Of course you do it." Who wouldn't? Who doesn't love Slurpees?
Yeah, exactly. I'm really offended right now. I should just leave.
I'm sorry. I'm not. But
I came on here to talk about a goddamn movie, and you just yell at me, and we haven't even talked about the fucking movie yet.
I also never realized that the fucking other side of the Delaware River is New Jersey from Philadelphia.
Oh my god.
I said I wasn't a geometry major. I never gave a shit about that side of the country.
True.
It's honestly, good that you aren't a geometry major because geometry is math.
No,
by the way.
Shit, I didn't even notice he said that.
Oh no!
Moron.
Damn it! Geography.
Oh.
All right. If we can use the glove as Wisconsin. This is Green Bay.
I don't want to. Let's just stop the conversation at geometry.
So Monster Squad.
Great movie.
It is a great movie. I forgot about the weird, sad. I'm jumping all over. Corey, do you want to recap the movie or not?
Well, I always like to. Now I try to get our guests who choose the movie, allow them the opportunity to do the recap.
And talk about the movie.
Wait, what? What am I doing?
You have to recap the movie.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, so
it could be 2 sentences for all I care.
I feel like Corey would be better at this, though. He's more articulate than me.
I can certainly go for it. It's up to you. I just want to make sure that I don't talk over you.
No, go for it, Corey. I vote you.
All right. So Monster Squad is basically the Goonies, so much so that they actually stole the mom from the Goonies to be in it. Except they are a group of kids who are into movie monsters and kaiju and things like that as well. But their group is brought together, and their initiation is about. They all like monsters. They make monster comics and stuff as kids. They describe their teachers as different monsters. There's a scene where they just can't pay attention in class because they're all in their heads with the monster shit. And that reminded me of me in Catholic school when my English teacher beat me the fuck up because I was far more interested in making a comic than learning about goddamn diagramming sentences again. Thank you, Mr. Fuentes.
I learned about heavy petting in 8th grade. Catholic school.
That is not what I learned. I wasn't, an altar boy. So I think, the kids are obviously.
I just want to point out I was not an altar boy. I did not get diddled by a priest.
You were altered by a boy. So the kids are sort of outcastish, not the most popular kids in school. One of them is fat, so they just call him Fat Kid. The bully comes up and beats him up, but then the cool kid, who I guess is a Brolin in this, he comes up and protects him, and so they're like, we want to get the cool kid into our club, and the cool kid joins the club because right next door is one of the kid's sisters who likes to change in front of the window, as you do.
That was my favorite part. They're all reading comic books, and then the one guy that has gone through puberty is staring out the window. He's like, oh fuck yeah.
But he knew about monsters. He had answers to their questions, and they were not totally ridiculous questions. And certainly, we've become more educated on the Universal monsters going up. But in the 80s, you could say, "Oh, how do you kill Wolfman?" Well, you silver bullets. What's the second way? What is the fucking second way? I don't even know a second way.
That was my favorite part. He never expected to be called out on that.
Yeah,
sounds like something I would do.
Dick.
I do love the opening. The film starts out with basically Van Helsing gathered a bunch of people to try to rid the world of monsters, and says they blew it. And then they show us him screwing it up, and Van Helsing gets sucked into this warp thing and taken off the planet, and the monsters get to continue on. But it's just sort of a gathering of the Universal monsters, something that Universal themselves can't fucking pull off these days because they're trying to make it bigger than it fucking should be. But this is I think the last example of these things working together well is we've got Frankenstein's monster.
They're trying to do this again now, aren't they?
Well, right, but Universal fucked it up. They put Tom Cruise into it and nobody watched it, so they blew it. They've they've written it off. The Dracula movie they tried to do first, that was all green screen, bombed, and so that was supposed to lead into it. And so then they started over again with Tom Cruise, and I always want to say Rutger Hauer, but it's not Rutger Hauer. It's a guy from Gladiator. And then they blew that too, and so now it looks like it's just done. The things that they were going to cast for this are all gone. They've done other things. They did a Wolfman movie with Benicio del Toro a few years ago, and we remember
fuck up Dracula again this year. Excuse me, Nosferatu.
Well, always they're going to try to fuck up Dracula, but that's just it. I think we talked about this a little while ago. Is that, are these classic movie monsters able to be done in the day, or are they just, they're from such a different time that people don't identify with them as seeing them as scary anymore? This, because they use kids, they can be scary enough to be in a kids movie. It's a PG-13 movie, probably because they keep calling each other gay slurs. But overall, they gather Dracula, they gather Frankenstein's monster. They even involve the creature from the Black Lagoon, which I think is great. The Wolfman, although they have a different guy play the desperate man, and then he turns into the Wolfman, but it's a completely different person in the costuming, which I was a little disappointed about, because I think the guy who plays him, John Grease, plays a desperate man, played a werewolf in Fright Night 2, if I remember correctly. Who else is in this? I don't know. Vampire women that Dracula obviously turns.
Yeah, that was weird. Unfortunately, and I just noticed this, on Wikipedia, the Gill Man.
Yeah, that's the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Right, exactly, and I had to double click on it to make sure. I never knew he was called the Gill Man. I just assumed he was the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Well, they probably just call him that in this. I don't know that that's what he's called in the classic one, but
maybe they just call him the creature from the Black Lagoon.
That's what I thought. Wikipedia, you've wronged me.
So the kids, of course, figure out that monsters are around. Oh, the mom finds a book and gives it to her son, and she's like, "Oh, look, it's Van Helsing's diary." He's like, "Oh, this is great. Oh, it's all fucking written in German." So they talk to old creepy German guy who is in place of, I don't know, the dude from The Sandlot who's blind. And there's inevitably, you're going to compare this to a lot of other kids movies. You're going to see Goonies, you're going to see It, you're going to see Stand By Me, you're going to see Sandlot. All of these things are the kids in the various tropes. What's cool about this one is that they have a little sister of the main character who is young enough that she's annoying simply because she's a child and they're all preteens to teenagers, but they actually involve her, and her presence has reasoning and works out to be important as it goes on. She's also the one who, the first time when she sees Frankenstein's monster, befriends him. And when they all see it, they're like running off. And she's like, "Don't be chicken shits. He's a nice guy."
Yeah, exactly.
But then it had to get sad when he got crushed.
Well, when he got taken away from her, and then she threw him her bear. It's inevitably sweet. You have to have that little bit of sweetness in what is considered a kids level movie. But it is also violent. You know, there is the dad who is a cop. His partner, who makes fun of him the whole time, gets blown up. A bunch of people just get slaughtered by Dracula.
The Wolfman blows up when he gets
Wolfman blows up
in his pants,
and then he definitely doesn't have nards.
Nope.
But overall, it's like, it's a pretty solid, scary flick for kids of that age.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's just scary enough without being overly scary. It's just funny enough without being completely stupid. It's a little silly, but I think it lands the right messages and the right interest in what it does going along. The parents actually get involved. They try to save the kids. They become a part of it. It's not just the whole adventure happens without them, but they have their own thing going on at the same time. The kids have their own thing. And so there's the "I don't believe you." Oh, one of my favorite scenes I remember from the commercials was a kid telling his dad that there's a monster in the closet. The dad goes upstairs like, "Oh, scary monster." And he opens up the closet. He's like, "Look." And the kid's got his eyes covered up. So the dad doesn't even look in the closet. And there's a mummy hanging out right there.
Yeah, I love it.
That was perfectly executed. Also, that I believe it's that same kid, when they're all trying to get ready to fight off the monsters, he's like, "Well, I should probably let the army people know
He writes him a letter in crayon.
And then the army people show up. They're like, hey, we're here. Where's Eugene? What's going on? And they're like, we already took care of it. Here's our card.
I think didn't they roll in on a tank and shit too?
Oh yeah, like a bunch of them. But there was tanks. There was 100 soldiers. Easy.
They were ready.
Yeah. Looking for one kid who didn't even give his last name.
Eugene.
Yep.
I love it.
There's monsters. Come save us, army men. So it doesn't steal even the agency away from the army men. The army men show up to help. I think that's great. Oh, yeah. You know, it's really cute. I've jumped all over the plot. The plot is basically monsters show up, kids fight the monsters. They try to cast a spell to get the monsters out of Van Helsing's spell book. They need a virgin to do it. The kids realize too late that you can't trust a teenage girl to tell you if she actually is a virgin or not. If she says she is, she's a liar. If she says she isn't, it's because she's done it a lot. She's just like, well, it's Steve, but Steve doesn't count. That was absolutely a brilliant moment. It's very well done and cute and doesn't overstay its welcome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched that movie. It's ridiculous. Actually, I know I'm gonna get some shit for this, but I actually never saw The Goonies until about maybe like 3 years ago.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, there are a lot of movies that I haven't seen until doing the show, so it goes all directions.
Well, the only reason I watched it is because around like the Halloween-y time, and I was just like, to my husband, I was like, we have to watch Monster Squad. And he's like, what the fuck is Monster Squad? He's like, I've never heard of that. And we're watching it, and we get to the end of it. I'm like, so did you like it? He was like, so I just watched Goonies with monsters. I'm like, what the fuck is Goonies? Who cares about Goonies? This is way better. Because this is what I grew up watching. Like, this movie came out like 4 years before I was even born. But I was also the kid growing up.
Wait. Oh, I forgot how young you are.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm a child.
I
was 2, so it's not like you're not that far off.
Yeah, no.
I was 16.
And then there's Corey.
Hi, Corey. Yep. Growing up, I wasn't the kid that, like, when my parents asked me what I wanted to be for Halloween, I was like, I want to be a princess. I always wanted to be Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy.
Shocker.
Okay.
You don't seem like a super girly girl. It wasn't like a shitty thing. I'm not at all shocked.
I was just prepared for it to be a shitty thing.
Oh, no, not at all. I think we're over that for now.
Also, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a princess.
No, there isn't. I just didn't relate to them. I was like, I want to paint my face green. I want to go and be Frankenstein, basically. Because that's what my dad showed me growing up. He showed me the black and white, Universal monsters. He showed me this movie probably when I was far too young to actually watch it. And I've watched it ever since around like the Halloween time. And it's just, I love it so much.
Yeah, that's the thing is I saw Goonies when it came out because for me it was age appropriate. I'm literally the same age as most of those kid actors were or are today. Like that we were all around. Like I named myself Corey after Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. So I feel a connection to that movie. But for some reason, a couple years later, I was probably just old enough where my friends and I didn't feel like going to see a kid's movie in the theater, so it never came up to go see Monster Squad.
Erika, you know that Corey's not his real name, right?
Are you shitting me?
So, and I thought it was really funny because he just said I named myself after Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, and my first thought was, this motherfucker is so enlightened. Like he came out of the womb and was like, my name is Corey. No, that's not his real name.
Wow, did not know that.
I think we were doing the show for like a year when I finally found out. And then I was just like, we were about to record a show, and I was like, I don't even know you anymore.
Whole friendship is a lie.
Yeah.
Corey was almost my real name. It just didn't quite work out that way. And spelled differently. So again, I added the E because Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. But anyway, I completely get that. Because I've talked about this before too, is I didn't see Labyrinth when I was a kid. And so I don't have the attachment to Labyrinth that a lot of my peers do who did see it as a kid. I was just like, oh, well, it's it's great. It's Jim Henson. Of course, it's fantastic. And there's certainly stuff to love with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. Dear God, Jennifer Connelly, but not Jennifer Connelly that age because sick. But like now, years later, by the time we got to say anything and career opportunities, woof. But still, I just like I understand that if you didn't see it as a kid, you're not going to love it in the same way. But I think I managed to catch Monster Squad young enough that I could still enjoy the humor of it as like when I was already an adult. And I think that there's a lot of stuff to it that now you can just enjoy. It is silly. It is a silly 80s movie, and it has some things that maybe don't necessarily translate well to today's society. But there's a lot more there than I think there is to what the attempts with the Universal monsters are right now, which is you've got to allow them to be over the top. You've got to allow them to be a little bit silly and scary at a level that makes sense, as opposed to trying to make them terrifying to today's horror audience. Today's horror audience isn't going to be scared by this.
Yeah, exactly.
We're a little too sophisticated, I guess, which is not to say that's better. It's just,
I wouldn't go with sophisticated, but I was thinking like there's like teen movies now don't have the same effect as this. So I saw this movie for the first time probably when I was Erika's age. So I was quote unquote an adult. So I have no nostalgia to this movie. And I still think it holds up better than, say, if I saw a teen movie of any sort of the same fashion now. I don't think it would be anywhere near as good as this movie is.
Well, I'm going to say two examples are Stranger Things and It. This year's version of It was...
I don't think that this year's version of It is steered towards teenagers. I think for an adult.
I think a lot of the complaints from adults were that it wasn't scary enough, but I think it's scary when it's put in the context of scaring the kids. It may not have been aimed at young kids, although I think a lot of preteens and teenagers are going to be the ones who wind up watching it a lot when it hits cable and streaming services. They're going to be the ones who fall in love with it.
What was that?
Did you see it?
I didn't see the new one yet, no. I know the story, but...
I think it's such a phenomenal movie.
Yeah. It comes out on DVD the beginning of January.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it around then.
Yeah, it is easily my favorite movie of the year. And I feel a lot of people are connecting to Stranger Things. And Stranger Things, again, there's story about the kids, there's story about the teenagers, and then there's story about the adults. So it gives you something for everybody. But I feel like a lot of people connect to that stuff with the kids, not because it's not scary enough for adults, but just because the kids have a different perspective and they utilize them in a way that feels realistic to who they are and how they would act. And it's very enjoyable to watch. And I think that that's something that throws back to Goonies, to Monster Squad.
Oh, absolutely. I always wish Monster Squad just got more popularity, like more recognition that it deserved. Like, I don't know many people that have actually seen that movie. I always try to push people to watch it, but they don't really care.
A big difference is the fact that Goonies was done by Steven Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that in and of itself is like you put it next to his body of work, and these things are pretty much, they rise to the top of everything that's in the film industry. Not because all of his stuff is genius, but because his entire body of work is so good collectively that any one of those things winds up getting on TV and gets displayed all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just checked the budget and box office, and the box office was a quarter of the budget. The budget was 12 million and the box office was just over 3, which is insane.
Yep.
Like, I thought it would have been a little more popular.
Mm-mm.
So did the Goonies come out in 87 also?
They came out in 85.
Oh, right. So they like there was anything that killed. Let's see, what movies? So what else came out at the same time? If there was something that forced it into the background.
Maybe it could have just been like the fact that people had already seen the Goonies and they didn't really care to see basically the same thing with Universal monsters.
Well, it also came out in August, which seems like a weird time to be doing something that it should have been pitched as a Halloween movie. That seems a little early.
So Masters of the Universe came out in August of '87 also.
Which a lot of people went to see, but was horrible. It was so bad. But I do remember seeing that at the drive-in with my friends when we were all able to drive over there by ourselves and watch it. So there were no parents. We were like, oh yeah, we're going to go see Dolph Lundgren play He-Man because we're grown-ups.
Dirty Dancing also came out.
Oh, there it is.
In '87.
That had a modest following.
Yeah, it came out a week after, but still, Can't Buy Me Love came out the same day.
Ooh, Can't Buy Me Love is...
And No Way Out, which I have never seen, but it made $35 million. And then Dirty Dancing. So yeah, unfortunately, it had to compete with those.
Yeah, hard competition right there.
Yeah, Fatal Attraction came out the next month. Hellraiser.
The Bugs Bunny remake of Hellraiser.
Oh boy.
I would just love to see Bugs Bunny walking up to Pinhead and asking him, "What's up, Doc?" And Pinhead trying to shoot a chain at him and it blowing up in his face like Daffy.
The imagery with that.
Yeah, I don't dislike Corey's version of this movie.
I know, I actually like it.
I will give you $5 to make it, sir.
That it's probably more than the budget needs.
Isn't this how you get funding for things?
I don't know. Ask PJ or ask Anthony, who's going to be on next week.
That's true.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it seems to have gotten lost in the shuffle, and it certainly didn't have a big draw of names. There are people that we recognize from it certainly later on. Was it Peter Noonan played Frankenstein? Tom Noonan.
Yeah, Tom
played.
Noonan.
Yeah, played Frankenstein's monster. Tom Noonan is one of those guys that you see play the creepy, usually over makeup guy. He scared the shit
out of me when I was a kid. He gave me nightmares when he did that creepy guy in Last Action Hero.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Still get the creeps when I see that movie. That guy with that yellow coat in the rain with his what the fuck did he even have? He had something with a blade on it. Oh my god! I just remembered that. Oh shit! Now I'm afraid.
Good.
Whatever.
And Last Action Hero, another movie that royally bombed.
Yeah, I love that movie. Bomb.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that way too.
Much. I appreciate that movie and how ridiculous it is, and I love it. Now I want to go watch it.
I kind of like that too. And Matt is not a fan because he really despises anything that Arnold Schwarzenegger's in.
Really?
No.
Okay. I have Running Man, Pumping Iron, Hercules in whatever that movie was. I can't think of the name. And I think a Predator poster at my desk at work. And I also
when you started that out, I thought you were doing the weirdest Mad Lib sentence about yourself.
I also drive to Ohio for the Arnold Schwarzenegger Sports Classic every March.
Are you shitting me?
No, not at all. It's like a big bodybuilding thing, and he touched one of my friends. I was so fucking close. I could smell him.
Do you smell good?
It smells like a man.
All right. So you don't know what that smells like?
Nope. I smell like lavender. He smells like shoe leather and meat.
I'm on an appetizing roast.
Yeah,
right. Well, good to know that you have such a deep love of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I do. I actually, so before I did this podcast, I did the Sci-Fi Geeks Club, and I met a guy who he runs the Arnold Schwarzenegger news site, and I met up with him at the Arnold one year. It was far more uncomfortable than I thought it was going to be.
Oh my god, that's what you meant when you said the Arnold, you go.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
I really thought you went to the restaurant in Happy Days.
I had no idea. I just kind of nodded because I didn't really know what you were talking about. I'm like, oh, the Arnold, whatever. That's probably some convention or something I don't know about. Wow.
Oh, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Sports Classic, and he's there and he walks around and it's.
You stalk him?
No. But
sure?
I would touch him if I could.
I appreciate.
So you always know he's coming because Secret Service starts to walk through. and then all of a sudden all the security will like line up for a path.
Yeah.
So it's like very easy to tell when he's coming through. So the one year that Jake like shook his hand, we just were there and we saw these people line up, and I'm like, dude, he's fucking coming. And then he like came down this escalator, and Angels sang.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was like Christmas music, but I didn't hate it. And there was harps, and then horses came through, and there was a man on fire and a guy at a trident.
Awesome.
Brick killed a guy.
That escalated quickly.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that. But yeah.
How is it in the line of posters that you have? Did you even say Terminator or True Lies in that lineup?
No, but those are, don't get me wrong, those are also very good. What happened was a guy that that he doesn't work with us anymore, but he had like a Pumping Iron poster, and I went to the website, and True Lies and Terminator were not a choice.
Gotcha.
And I just haven't went back and bought more because I don't know. It's worth.
They're not filled with beer.
They're not filled with beer. Although I should bring them home and hang them up now that I have a rumpus room in the basement.
The hell is a rumpus room?
It's just like we have a finished basement. So Flanders in The Simpsons calls his like basement rec room his rumpus room. So I got like a rumpus room sign made for our basement.
Adorable.
Yeah.
You got one made.
Yeah, I got painted it off of Etsy. I love Etsy.
Remember how we talked about how Matt's a loser and a liar? There we go.
Do you want? I'll live stream you my fucking basement.
He doesn't lie about being a loser.
No, yeah, I'm very, very comfortable with the fact that I'm not a cool person.
That's fine.
But I have like 4 friends, so yeah. I mean, when I hit 30, it was like, do I really want friends, or do I just want like a few really good friends?
I feel that way now, and that's why I have like 5 good friends.
Which is all you need.
It really is. That's probably more than I need.
Yeah. Well, you can just hurt their feelings like you hurt mine.
And no, I'm nice to my friends.
Fuck you.
Anyway, Monster Squad is awesome.
And you want to rate it so I can go cry in my pillow?
Who are you talking to?
Crying himself.
Both of you. We can rate this movie so we can end the show so I can go cry in my pillow.
Was there anything that you want to address about the movie? Anything that we haven't really gone over? It's
a very plot, like cut and dry face value movie. There's no deep hidden meaning, and it's just really fucking good. That's my opinion. Erika may feel otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I just love it for the nostalgic value that I have with it, and just the sheer fact that it's awesome.
Yeah, we had early on in this podcast, we had a request to talk about horror movies and other stuff that can appeal to a kid audience, and the language sets it a little bit outside of that, depending on parental choices.
Yeah,
but I kick myself that we didn't bring this up at that point. It just didn't stick out of my head.
It's not as prominent. Really good. It's not like it's a good movie. I don't want to offend anyone, but I don't. It's not as prominent in like my backstory of horror and growing up, for it to have been in the forefront of thought when we did that episode.
But it is such a great example of
it is
utilizing these monsters.
Oh yeah. And what's really cool is recently I found out that the guy who played Sean and the guy who plays Rudy actually have a podcast.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're still really good friends. They go to conventions all the time. On a sad note, the guy who played the fat kid, Horace, he passed away like shortly after the movie. Yeah, that's a sad note. Yeah. But everybody else is, I think, alive. But those two are really good friends. I forget the name of their show, unfortunately.
What are their names?
Is it popular because it's probably true crime?
No, it's not.
What were the two guys' names?
Their characters' names were Sean and Rudy. So it was the popular kid and the ringleader of the whole Monster Squad.
It's Andre Gower and Ryan Lambert.
Yep. I forget. I listened to a few episodes, and they talk about the fact that they were, we were in a movie. Squadcast. What was it called?
Squadcast.
Squadcast. There you go. Oh, yeah.
A little on the nose, but
I forget things.
No, part of me thought it was going to be the last podcast on the left, because I know that's a big one with some comedians.
Ugh.
I really like that one guy because I really like to show Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, but then I listened to it and I'm like, this is not my thing.
I think the one guy from that show is now running for like mayor of Brooklyn. It's really random. Ben Kissel.
Ben Kissel?
Yeah. Kissel.
Ben Kissel.
Type faster.
I have the loudest keyboard in the world, too. Yeah, he's running for Brooklyn mayor.
Yeah, I thought so.
Why?
He's like 7 feet tall, too. There's a lot of things I know randomly.
Heightist?
What's up?
Are you a heightist?
No, I just know he's super tall from pictures because he was at CrimeCon and a bunch of my friends met him and he was just huge. I love the name of their podcast. I'm not like a huge fan of their humor, but they do such great research. It's really hard to be on par with someone like Marcus who does the research on that show.
Yeah, but it seems like they try everything has to be a joke.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not a big fan of stuff like that.
Yeah, and obviously, I think that jokes and making fun of things, making light of certain situations at the proper time is good.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we don't take everything seriously, but there's just something so exhausting about someone trying to make a joke nonstop.
Yeah.
And I think his name is it Hank or something?
I don't know. I just know Marcus and Ben.
That's the other one.
Yeah, I'm trying not to throw any stones because they all turn out to be boomerangs, and my house is made of really brittle glass.
Henry Zabrowski, and I think he's funny. I really like the show that he's on, and some of the things that they do I think are funny, but sometimes it feels like he's there just to do like funny voices and to be like the comic relief. And it's part of me is like I kind of want to like know what you're like as a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
And but once again, they're doing like live shows and touring, so they're doing something right.
Oh yeah, and they have an outrageous Patreon support and
yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous.
Well,
but hey, good for them. Good for them.
Oh yeah.
Give kudos. They're doing something right.
The differences between podcasts is what the variety is what makes it exciting. Everybody
absolutely.
gets to do something the way that they want to, and find the people who appreciate that thing the way that they do it, and if not, there's so many other choices they can go out there and find something that they do like.
Right, 100%. Right, and their style of comedy is appeals to the masses. It just does not appeal to us. That's all we're saying. Although in the search, I did find that Quentin Tarantino's movie on Charlie Manson comes out on August 9th of 2019.
I didn't even know he was doing a movie on him.
Apparently.
Well, now everything's going to be about him because he's dead. Every podcast episode. I think, no, they're doing a whole series, kind of like there's a show called Dirty John. Now they're doing one called Young Charlie, where it's all about him as a young. I read a book about him. I mean, Charles Manson had a fucked up life growing up from day one.
Yeah.
And people like to label him as a serial killer, which really agitates me because he's not. But
no, he didn't kill anybody.
Nope.
He was
he's the fucking Boba Fett of the fucking serial killer world. He didn't accomplish shit.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Boba Fett of the series. That's awesome.
I can get
like everybody gives him all this fucking credit. He didn't do anything. He went down like a little bitch.
Oh, Corey's firing up again.
That's right. I threw down at Manson. How brave of me.
He's gonna come haunt you. Oh boy. Yeah, but that's true. I know a lot of people say he's like a serial killer and this and that, but at best he was a cult leader.
Yep. No, that's exactly what he was.
Yeah.
Manson family.
That's true. Very true. You're so smart.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anything else on the movie, or should we rate it?
Yeah, we can rate it. Go ahead, Corey.
No, you have to go first. You're the guest.
I don't want to go first. I don't
Fine, Corey, you have to go first because I don't want to deal with her whining.
Wow.
Coming at it from a place of I did not see this before Goonies, so it probably has some bigger shoes to fill in that regard. I do enjoy this movie a lot. I think that there is a lot of fun here, but the characters aren't super deep. It's not like they were breaking a lot of new ground. It was just very cute and funny. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4.
I like it.
Now you have to go.
Okay, fine. Well, naturally, I'm going to give it a 5. Because not only do I love this movie deeply, I own memorabilia of it on my t-shirt. I even own a vinyl with songs on it. I love this movie.
Oh yeah, Michael Cimbello did one of the songs in it, and I knew the lyrics as it came on. I'm like, God, I remember the song way too well. And I probably only ever heard it in the movie, but I could sing along with it.
Yeah, I've never heard it anywhere else. What is that? Rock Until You Drop, I think?
Yep.
Yeah, I love that goddamn song.
The montage song.
Yeah, it's literally a vinyl that has just that one song on it, but it has an awesome... I should have fucking brought it in this goddamn booth with me, but...
It doesn't have the Monster Squad song by Monster Squad?
No, it doesn't have that. It literally just has the one song on it, I think. I have to double check now because I might be lying, but... I think it was on Mondo. They did like this really cool like shirt and then release of a vinyl with this awesome artwork, and I was like, bye, even though I probably shouldn't have, but I did. So 5.
I feel kind of ripped off if I got a Michael Cimbello album and it didn't have that and Maniac on it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Mondo does all like TV show and movie repressing of soundtracks.
I love it.
They did Friday. I think it was Friday the 13th Part 1. Maybe 1 or 2, but there's blood in the middle, and the thing fucking sells for like $400 now.
Yeah,
sounds like a Metallica album cover.
That's got semen in it though.
Semen and blood, right?
Semen and cow blood. There's a cow semen and blood.
That's a tasty treat.
It's like the load cover.
Ketchup and mayo.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad album. Not a good Metallica album, but it's not a bad album.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that sometimes these bands. They've been around for so long, they have to do something different. And so it's like, well, I can't judge it based off of the band that I like and know, but is it listenable? Sure.
They're not going to write Master of Puppets 2, people. As much as I want that in my life, they're not going to do it. I know Erika's a big Metallica fan, so we don't want to.
How do you know?
I actually don't know. I assumed that you were not really a fan of any music at all.
No, I love music. What are you talking about?
I'm fucking with you.
Oh God!
I know that much. I know that much that you like music. I just don't know what kind of music you like.
I like everything. My father's a musician. I like everything.
Yeah, what kind of music?
Almost ran into her at that Juggalo concert.
Yeah. You couldn't tell under my face paint, my braids.
A lot of people, I wasn't sure who they were.
She's drinking Mike's Heart Fago right now. It's
Mike's Hard Fago. She just mixes Rock and Rye and her Mike's Hard Lemonade together. Oh, that would taste so bad.
Oh, it really would. Although I see people drink Monster all the time, so I can't really expect that taste really matters.
Yeah, Monster is just it's a corrosive liquid. Although I bet like Red Pop and Mike's Hard wouldn't be terrible.
Well, they have those adult sodas now. They've got the Not Your Father's Root Beer, Not Your Father's Mountain Dew. It seems like a Not Your Father's Red Pop. Yeah, that seems reasonable to think that could happen.
Orange and cream soda, and there's just so many ways to get gut rot and drunk at the same time.
Can we just take a moment and appreciate the fact that Matt was just like sitting like a cherub?
Yeah.
For like a while, just listening to Corey talk.
He looks like the 1984 album cover. You're so cute. Matt, did you rate the film?
No, of course not.
4.5. It's a good fucking movie.
It's a really good movie.
Leaving it at that. We started talking about other things like Metallica. I do love Metallica. Corey, do you want to read the outro? I'd ask Erika too, but she hates us.
I think she's probably had her fill. You can contact us by leaving us a voicemail at 805-328-3966. You can email us at pot@gncast.com, or you can leave us a message on the gncast.com website. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're at Podcast of Terror in those particular places. And you can subscribe via iTunes, even though they're trying to fuck everybody right now with their stupid numbering shit. Stitcher, Google Play, your favorite podcatcher, wherever you like, man. You know, the emails will actually go to us. It's not like some fucking crapshoot if we have to chase around, but you're worth chasing around. If you give us a rating somewhere, even if it's mean, we can handle it. We can take it. We just like to know. Someone tried. You gave it your best effort. We fucked it up. It's all right. We're not proud.
I don't handle criticism very well. Corey always has to talk me off the ledge. This is a true story. When the whole fat hipster thing went down, like I wanted to hunt her down and
it's been 3 years, man. We're still like,
oh dear God,
hurts inside. Subscription options and links can be found at gncast.com/subscribe, and you can join the networks page under Galactic Network on Facebook.
As mentioned earlier, we have the Amazon affiliate link. Go to amazon.podcasthere.com, shop as you normally would. Spend your money. We get a cut, costs you nothing more. Helps keep the show freer than free, and I can pay off the mixing board I have. And then I'll start sending Corey singles in exchange for nude photos. We're gonna do long distance snail mail strippers.
You know, when we talk about the cost of doing the show, the cost really now is Matt keeps sending guests beer.
I buy my friends. I'm not above saying that.
And honestly, we get some of the highest quality guests around. So
but
that itself should be worth it to go to podcastofterror.amazon.com. We also have some of the best listeners around. You're absolutely right.
No, that's true. And this is sitting here because I opened a beer bottle. But one of our guests, and I guess I can call him a friend, Mike Nielsen, made me this. It's a Jason Mask bottle opener. Not a guest, a fan. But yeah, it's a fucking Jason Mask bottle opener.
Oh yeah, I think you showed that the last episode I was on. It's awesome.
I must have just got it. Yeah, it's so fucking cool. I use it a couple times a week when I open beer bottles.
Oh, you mean a couple times a day?
No. I can say with certainty I do not drink every day.
No, I'm proud of you.
Acceptance is the first step to resolution.
You know, just because you black out doesn't mean that it starts a new day automatically, Matt.
I did time travel on Black Friday.
I do remember that story. That was
the next morning. Alyssa was like, "Hey, you just kept telling me that you saw two of me," and I'm like, "Don't remember any of this."
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Nothing like being rejected by both of them.
Erika, where can people find you and your show and your hurtful words?
You can find me anywhere at Apex and Abyss, at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all your podcatchers I'm on. You know, Apple iTunes, podcast, whatever they're calling themselves these days, Stitcher, Acast. I'm all over. Just search Apex and Abyss and you'll find me.
And like we said earlier, check out her Patreon.
Yes.
And it looks like there may be something added, some reworkings for rewards, and a possible one where you might get to choose. If she takes my suggestion, that's completely up to you. But you can write her and say, "Hey, you should follow Corey's suggestion."
Definitely.
And also, you're right. Matt is a prick.
Oh. Yeah, holy shit. Why did you only have a $1 and a $2 option? You got to get on that.
I know. I'm not really good at the whole Patreon thing, but I have stickers, business cards, and buttons that will be added to the tiers. And Corey's wonderful suggestion. That's awesome. I will probably start doing a bigger merch raffle like once a month that will give out like a t-shirt or something. I don't even own a t-shirt for myself because I think it's kind of tooly to wear. Like stuff that says the Apex and Abyss.
I don't wear my own band t-shirts, so I completely understand.
I love your t-shirts though. I wear them whenever my wife doesn't steal them. I
think they're great shirts, but I just
refuse awesome to wear shirts.
I will buy any band's shirt that is printed on Next Level shirts.
Doesn't hurt that my wife did the artwork for one of them too, but
there's that too.
Oh really? Which one?
The most recent one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
we haven't done anything since. I don't know. There's a picture somewhere. I can send it to you. But yeah, Corey, where can people find you?
Right now, probably not find me anywhere. I'm just doing this shit. This is fun for me. But if you want to see some of my wife's artwork, you can go to store.arthag.com, and she's selling some prints and also doing commission work through that. It is not for the faint of heart. It is, like Matt said, opens it up, weeping vagina. Good times. Good times. All over my house. My house is just covered in dicks and vaginas.
No wonder you're so sexually frustrated.
I'm frustrating.
You are a walking erection, aren't you?
If it's walking itself to downward spiral.
The Nine Inch Nails song?
Yes, that's exactly right. All my wood comes from Nine Inch Nails.
Huh.
I want to fuck you like a rancid meat carcass.
Oh boy. I don't know why it's got to be rancid. Can we just fuck a meat carcass?
No, you got to wait until it's hit good peak rancidness.
This got weird.
Yeah, exactly. Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me Twitter, Instagram, and Untapped at Matt the Lifeguard. That's probably going to do it for this episode. Next week we have Anthony Rouse is coming back because he just couldn't stay away. We're going to talk about the original 1974 Black Christmas. If you are OG as fuck, episode 17 we talked about the 2006 Black Christmas.
I think we fucked up. We were going to do Black Christmas, and I think we automatically assumed it was that newer one, which was not good.
Corey, that is literally 2 years of beers ago.
Right.
I don't remember this. I don't remember this conversation.
It did not go over well.
But you know what we watched the week after?
No.
Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, God damn it.
Such a good movie.
I should rewatch that.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. But, Erika, thanks again.
Thank you guys so much for having me again.
That's going to do it for another episode of the podcast here. We'll talk to you guys next week.
And stay scary, everybody.
God damn it, I cut you off.
That's okay.
Good thing I have it saved.
Yep.
I
almost forgot how to say it, so it's fine.
I forgot it was a thing that we do. Literally every week I forget it's a thing that we do.
Literally, Corey does one fucking thing in regards to the show, and you don't remember I'm here every fucking week.
False. You do two things. You drink tea
Yep.
of ice or hot nature, and then you have that.
He's never had hot tea, but I told him to get hot tea because he's not feeling good.
No,
Still
I considered the hot tea, and then I was just worried that it would damage me. Like I'm trying to be as gentle as possible, at least during the show. But the one thing that I almost sold myself in doing the hot tea was that I would have been able to use my Kick Today in the dick mug, and that would have been nice.
That would have been awesome.
Because I love Matt. I love Matt and Beach.
He's doing Contigo mugs with Kick Today in the dick on it, though.
Oh man, those Contigo mugs are so good too.
Someone stole I had the super ultra OG hate Contigo mug, and someone stole it.
God bless.
Yep, that thing, I had dropped that thing so many fucking times that the entire top was chipped, but it still kept coffee in and hot.
Amazing.
I know, they're great. They're great. All right, I'm gonna stop YouTube now.
Yeah, Erika, that merchandising choice